Welcome to the Wellness on Tap podcast with your host, Dr. Debs Eastwood.
But there are a few other people that I definitely do want to get back in to continue their stories because they've changed what they're doing.
Yeah.
And things have moved forward. And that's kind of the whole point of it. Because the whole point of it, as you know, was to give healers a voice. Initially as a legacy to my little brother, but, it's grown into something much more than that now. And it's about allowing people I want to champion what they're doing. People that I know and I love and I respect. And it's to give them the voice to help them. They can use my audience as well.
But also, it's about championing yourself.
Thank
and
you.
making sure that you also get the airtime, the spotlight. This is your platform. I created my own platforms. I know we're going for it now, Mark. I created these platforms because it wasn't there for me. What I wanted wasn't being created. What I was looking for wasn't being created, wasn't being made available. And also from, taking full ownership and responsibility, which is what it's all about for me, I was also not the right version of myself to even be in them spaces, even if I'd been proffered the hand to be taken to get up on a stage and whatnot or an event. I wasn't ready for it. And I think this is the key thing. So it's interesting speaking to you now reminding me about when I did come here back in 2024, for God's sake. And when you invited me back on, I was like, yes, it's about bloody time, Debs. And like I've just challenged you now and how many other mothers have been back before me. And it's true. The whole point is, wellness on tap. Wellness is well-being. It's the person as well in their journey. We haven't arrived. Every guest that you've had hasn't arrived somewhere that's their port of call now and they're done. We're all on a ship sailing and stopping off at various ports along the way, knowing that when I spoke to you last time, the direction was set here and this is what the compass was set at. The captain was clear on where we were going. But now, looking back to what I was doing then, it's nothing compared to what I'm doing today as I meet you here today and speak today.
And we've been in constant contact since then. I'm part of one of the memberships you now have and have been all the way through.
Yes. Oh, yeah, because, of course, that wasn't existent then when we spoke. Because November 24 was when I did my first empowerment day, which was all about be more you. Yeah. Because people were always saying, Buckso, I wish I was more like you. I wish I could do what you do, be more you, And it's just like, but I'm just actually, now that you've said that, let me have a think, actually, what am I doing? I'm just being me. I'm just being me. So why don't you just be more of who you are? And then I thought, well, how do they know how to do that, Buckso? Because nobody told you how to do it. It's happened by default going through grief after Dad's passing, which is 6 years this month, by the way, next week, 28th of Jan. And so I was like, well, actually, you might need to have a day where people come who want to be more of who they are and explain, share, show, feel, have them go through all of those emotions to get to their port and their point of being more of who they are. So, yes, you came to that and set up the membership. I didn't know why. Like today when I look back, I'm like, why did I set it up? And I'll talk about this afterwards. And because of the perimenopause, you might need to take me back there.
I'll do my best.
Right. Two being blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
And it'll be a case of like talking about what I now know for sure, looking back on the 6 years that I've just endured, gone through, hated, enjoyed, loved, embraced, resisted, all of the above. But I did it because I thought that's what you're supposed to do. And I think a lot of us over this last lockdown, we've got another one coming anyway, but that's another topic. This last 5-6 years that we've had, a lot of us didn't know, the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. My perspective was from coming out of grief and going through that process. Yeah. A lot of people also going through grief, but a lot of us, all of us were going through lockdown. So what were we doing? We didn't know. We were all doing something. We were all going through uncharted territory for the first time. Nobody out there could tell us any way of getting out of this. We were online and we didn't actually have that need to seek out somebody that can tell us how to get through this. We thought we were because they're a therapist or they're experienced in this arena of, mental well-being and stuff. But actually, when we look back, none of us actually knew what the hell we were even doing. And I have wrote a post about this recently where I feel that, and it's not here, I'm not here to, give anybody shade or anything like this. I'm just calling myself out for what I've witnessed myself going through. And a lot of people go through when they are operating from low energy, a low vibration, a low space. The jets aren't fueled, whatever you want to call it. We all make choices and decisions. And, that's when it became really apparent when a person makes choices and decisions from low frequency. They are not necessarily going to be the thing that moves the dial in their progression, although it is, because it still gives them something to compare it to. And I know a lot of what I did this last 5-6 years, the decisions I made, the things I bought, the purchases I made, the courses I did, the spaces I thought I had to be in because I didn't know any better. This is the online space that was new to me because having only ever, I didn't go online as much as I did during lockdown. So this whole space opened up, and I see it now with what's going on with the story that's broke today. As people are watching it, you'll notice the Beckham story that's broke today. And the amount of people that have jumped on the social media and made a post out of it that guides you back to their services. See, I'm not a fan of that. Talk to me, Debs. What are we saying about that?
I mean, I don't watch the news, so I don't know anything about a Beckham story, but just the concept in general makes you feel a bit sick, doesn't it?
Well, it's like, I know it just shows a bit, I suppose. I'm not saying I've never done it, but like everybody's jumping on this one and really going to town on what it is. But people really shocked. Are people really shocked that that's gone on? I'm flabbergasted by the myopic state of some of what is being portrayed out there and how they are just living in that 3D world, being spoon-fed the fodder.
Blinkered.
Yeah. Give me some more. Do you know what I mean? Feed me more. Yeah. Oh, great. Knuckle-dragging behaviour. But again, not here to make them wrong. It's just there to see what it is, what it actually is for what it is, the comparison, the ability for people to see for themselves, like I now know. I needed to go through all of those bad purchases, those wrong spaces and places, because I genuinely thought they were the right ones at the time.
Of course.
But again, with my limited self-development, healing, whatever you want to call it, now I'm out this side, not fully out of it, 6 years on. I look back and I'm like, damn, you made some silly choices there, girl. Nah.
But did you?
Well, from it always comes, there's always a bit of gold from that.
Absolutely, that's what I mean.
I've met some amazing people. I'm speaking to yourself as well right now, and I have met some brilliant people. But you know what I'm able to do now? I'm able to stop myself from pressing buy now. I'm able to stop myself from saying, oh yeah, I think I need to do that. Yeah, that's going to be, and justifying my purchase, because I'll talk myself off the ledge, and why I shouldn't buy it and whatnot. I didn't even do that. Now it's like, no, you're being sucked in again. Have you noticed how they've pivoted? Have you noticed what they're now changing? Have you noticed that they've burned the business to the ground? Okay, I'm not making anybody wrong, but it's a psychological game. And I bought into it.
It's very seductive.
Isn't it? And why? Because I needed to feel part of something. I was floundering. I was flapping about in this maelstrom of grief, never having known grief before. And, when we are in those spaces, no matter, anybody could have come up to me and said, Buckso, you spending this money, you are going to be so pissed off that you've done this in a few years' time, Because I'm telling you now, if you give yourself a bit more time and just morph into this version of yourself that's evolving, allow it, then think about doing that thing. Stop trying to do it now. Think it'll get you to the bridge quicker because you're coming from fear and desperation energy. And if I'd just had, but then you see, again, I'm flip-flopping around here because I'm having all these thoughts dropping in. I didn't trust anybody enough. I haven't. I think I've only just started to trust people, allow people in to say, I'm thinking of doing this and doing that and then this and that. What do you reckon? There's not many people I can do that with. I've never been able to do that with anyone. Yeah. So I only had myself to trust in all of this time. And so the choices that I was making had to be the right ones because that's all I'd done all my life. But there comes a time when you have to recognize that you need help. And before I was talking about the vulnerability piece, right? And the last meetup that you came to that we had, the Empowered Connection bi-monthly meetings, I was asking people for help, and I had made a joke about it, so I like to joke about it. So I was like, people, so I asked everybody around the room, what would you like to have help with? And I was like, so who wants to ask me what I need help with? I still had to make a joke about it because I couldn't be like, can somebody please ask me? Do you know what I mean? And it's interesting, but nobody in the room thought to say, and Buckso, what would you like? Not that I'm giving you a round of, what's right now, Debs. It wasn't your responsibility. But it's like people are scared to do that as well because they think you're okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, right.
The person standing at the front hosting it, they've got it sorted, haven't they? They're all right.
Oh, I want to be where they are, right? And I get that. And that's why you are there, because you're leading the way and you want to show, you're a way shower. You want to show what's possible for people. And but one thing I've started, and again, people could only ever come to me and say, Buckso, what do you need help with? If I energetically was allowing them the space to do that on the flip side.
Yeah. I don't think a few years ago you would have done.
Never. At all. I'd have been like, what do you think of a week or something? What are you saying, a week? And
Exactly.
I'd have took it through choice the wrong way, obviously operating from trauma. But now it's like, you do get the odd ones that slip through the net and think that they genuinely, want to do you a favor. And and I've had this before with collaborations and things. And you've come away and you're like, I actually did way more than they did. What was their part in this? But again, because I didn't know what the concept of collaboration was, I had to ask Susie that day. And she was telling me in her words what she sees collaboration as. You ask the person what they want, what they're bringing to the table, and what they are expecting to get out of it for you and them. And I'm quite like that. I am quite direct in that, but that bit was like, oh, do you have to be like that about it? Do you have to be like that?
Just a little bit uncomfortable.
A bit too, but then this is the new version of me. Yeah. The direct ball-breaking Buckso from 6 years ago, she's not around anymore, although that, a lot of people will be like, I'm not sure I believe you there, Buckso. You still got a ball-breaking element to you.
But I absolutely think you have.
But you're
never going to lose all of that.
It's from love now.
Yeah.
It's from love, a space of love now for myself. First and foremost, everything is from a place for myself, the love for myself, the respect for myself. Yeah. And you know what's really playing out right now? The value piece. I've had to slap some ass over this last few weeks, where I've decided, and again, is it the final bit of the year, shedding the snake skin, is the value piece. People not valuing what it is that I'm about, what I do, what I bring to the table. Again, taking ownership. What am I not doing that doesn't allow them to see the value? Yeah. And then on the flip side of it, people have said to me, you're too available, Buckso. You're too available. So does that mean I'm too visible, which means I'm too readily quick to say yes? It's who you pleasing? Nobody. So now it's come back to who values what it is that I do now and the person I've become and what I'm saying I will do for you if you allow me the space to do it for you, with you. And that's massive for me. How do you think? What do you think about that with the value piece? Because obviously you're a doctor, right? And you're always going to do your job. But I'm sure it'd be nice, now and again, for somebody to say, you're the best anaesthetist that I've ever had.
Well, do you know?
Valuing your space in the room.
It's funny because I've talked on here for the past 18 months about how being an anaesthetist is a privilege and I'm humbled by it, but it's not what I want to do to the end of my days. I'm building this holistic outlet in its various different formats that it's going to take. But to do a good job is really important to me. As a part of that, I went and spoke to the person in charge of our department about the possibility of retiring and various other issues about where I felt I hadn't been heard over the years and et cetera, et cetera. It was a really good conversation. He's a really good guy. And he said to me, it is rare that anaesthetists get compliments and thanks. It tends to go to the surgeons or the nurses.
Yeah.
He says, but you, Debs, are the most complimented person by far in our department.
That goes a long way, man.
And to me, that's because I treat my patients and the members of staff that are in the team as human beings. I don't walk around with a rod up my backside being, I'm the doctor. I'm at the top here. Because
after a while, you can get that way, can't you? After a while, you can get that way because you forget the basics of what it was about the job. You're just doing your thing and you're on automation.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing with you. You're not on automation.
No.
And I think that's the key thing for me now in life is not operating on automation. And that's all I've ever done. Reactionary, automatic. This happens when that happens and I do that and I go here and I'll say this and more.
Yeah. And I genuinely believe that doing the business stuff outside of anaesthetics is going to keep me that way. Because I'm not just doing that job.
Correct.
I have a rounded life outside.
The balance.
I do loads of different products, lines that I endorse. That means going to meetings. I attend various different networks, groups such as your own. I do this podcast. I give IVs to people. I
don't know any other medical professional that does this, you know.
I know.
Out there. Are you literally, I mean, can we do some research on that, do you think? Are you literally the only doctor out there that has these tentacles? Far-reaching tentacles. Do you know what I mean? I think you need to, and I think sometimes it requires somebody else to see the value in us. And to really say, you need to be doing this and this, and you're like, what, me? Because of where I operate from, I'm going to see that possibility and potential of other people. And
that's why we need each other, because we see things that others don't. We
have to. It's when you're in spaces where they feel that way about themselves and actually never allow anyone to meet them where they are and operate from that space. Like my event in June, Be More You, is going to be, I've got a headline sponsor now for that, and they're going to be hosting the panel. I'm going to step aside. Good. So they'll be hosting the panel because I'm talking about people becoming more visible, finding your voice, and me saying I'm creating a platform for it, then I've got to allow that to be exercised. I have no fear over anything else because I want people to be there, not because, such and such is going and I don't want fear of missing out energy buying a ticket. I don't want Mr. FOMO buying a ticket. I want Mr. I see what she does and what she's about energy. Like Susie did.
Yeah.
We were speaking the week before Christmas. Never met her in my life. I've heard about Women in Business Network, but I'd never met her in my life. She put a post out about speakers. I told her about this Speaker in the House directory, online directory. And she sent me a generic message in my inbox. I didn't respond to it because I don't respond to generic messages. Read my post, what I said to you, and then come back to me. But she did. Not from my prompting, but she just did anyway. And then I said, let's chat. So we had a chat. And then I said, why don't you be the speaker in January?
Why don't you? I always want to sing when you say that.
Why don't you? Remember that?
Yep.
And that was it, because that's what I felt in the moment. It wasn't, what can I say here? Because she's got a network. There was no thought process around it. It was like, why don't you come and speak at the event in January?
Yeah.
Knowing that she's going to be travelling nearly 2 hours to get there. And that's what I said to you. The people in that room, there's nearly 18 of us. 4 of us are from Derby, which is my city. The rest are from around the country, travelling 90 minutes, 2 hours to get there. And that's not lost on me. Do you know what I mean? That goes into the recesses of my mind. And I'm like, that you coming from Sheffield to Derby I know it's thankfully every 2 months, not every week or anything like that. And then Wolverhampton, it's a thing. Yeah. It is. And that's where you, personally, me as a leader, which I do call myself now and don't think I'm actually quite surprised, just tripped off the tongue like that. But before, 6 months ago, I wouldn't have said I'm a leader. But I'm actually saying that out loud and I'm declaring it to the universe.
Which is incredible, and so you should.
Yeah. And as are you in your field, in the medical world, you are. And I think we all need to check that for ourselves, because I'm leading by example, as in I get it wrong sometimes. And I'm happy to take responsibility. Sometimes I might not see the wood for the trees. Yeah. But it's okay. There's no malice. There's no what's the name about it. And I know still within the online space and what's going on out there in the coaching world and everyone losing their bits over 2 of the main coaches out there not coaching anymore. And then everybody leading by example and thinking, I'm going to ditch the coaching now. Why do we do that? Why do we wait for is that really how society is going to continue operating? We haven't changed anything then, have we really?
No, we're so used to society telling us that we need to look for external validation to make our decisions, aren't we?
We're not changed anything after lockdown, have we then?
No, we still don't have enough value on our own intuition and our own decisions.
Because
That's
nobody's
got to change.
nobody's doing the work to get to that point. I was sent a book to review for the magazine because I know there's a few things that I've done since I last spoke to you, and I will come back to them. But and I was sent a book. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a big reader. I'm not a big reader. I used to be when I was younger, but I haven't got the patience these days. But she sent me the book, and I started to read it on the train up here. And already, in the first 4 pages, there's 4 or 5 things that are common. She's Turkish with Greek heritage. And she's written this great book, and she talks about the difference being in a culture and then feeling like you don't belong in that culture. And I was like, and she got held up at gunpoint, as did I. It wasn't pointed to my head though, thankfully, but I was staring.
Scary
at
still
face
enough.
on. It's still scary. You know, it's what we do into it. It's like, oh, but it wasn't pointed at my head.
Yes, it was all right.
It was just here. Yeah. And we play it down, don't we? We all do.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. So I will continue to read it. And I think that's the key thing, is that capturing you in the first 4 or 5 pages, like in our conversations and our talks. Hopefully we've captured people in the first 4 or 5 minutes or 4 or 5 seconds even. It's important that we just don't have a veil or a mask or anything as soon as they're about to speak, because folks ain't got time.
No.
They want to know now, what is it in it for me to stick around and hang around here and keep listening to what you're saying. And I think it goes back to the whole concept of not what you say that makes people remember you, it's how you made them feel.
100%.
Right? I believe that that's every fibre of my being. I believe that massively now, because people I don't even know who I've met for the first time have seen me speak, and you can see their expression on the face. They can't even give you eye contact because they feel so vulnerable in that moment, because you're mirroring the vulnerability. And they're like, they catch you looking at them and catch them in the audience, and they look away like this, and they're like, oh, she's looking at me. It's interesting just to witness that, when you start showing up as you wish others to be. Yeah. It really is reflected back or not to you as well. But I was going back to talking about with the book and everything, the magazine. Since we've last spoke, I've set up House of Wisdom. I've spelt it Haus, not because I have any connection to Germany in any way, shape or form, but I think people will have gleaned from the last interview I don't tend to conform to what should and shouldn't be. Why have you spelt it like that, Buckso? Because it sparks a conversation like this. And we're now talking. And then we'll carry on speaking or not. But it looks great on a magazine front cover. It's 4 letters, fits nicely. And the whole concept of that was to create this resource that I wish I'd had 30 years ago, when I, unbeknownst to me, had started on my journey, realising that I wasn't in the right space, feeling that I was in the wrong culture, the wrong family, all of these things. And I thought, if I'd got something that I could have read, like before, then it was, what was that, More magazine. Do you remember that every fortnight that came out? That was my Bible. I learned all about the birds and the bees and that. Oh, mate, that was my go-to. And I wanted to create something, not quite as thingy as that, but from a spiritual perspective, from a self-discovery perspective, getting to know the self perspective, create a resource where people can speak their truth and not be censored, because a magazine might say, that won't sell. We need to have a bit of a clickbaity title for it. And all this shit that's out there now, for God's sake. I was homeless and I made 40K in 3 months. Oh, quick, let me read that. Why are we still perpetuating that bullshit? And I don't click on any of them stories now. When I see a sensationalized title, I don't use any of those in my magazine. No. I don't want anybody to be sensational in what they're saying. I just want their truth. But the truth has got to be coming from a place of hope and inspiration for the reader, culminating in a wisdom piece. You've got to have had your golden nugget of wisdom from what it is that you've endured or gone through, that you now know. Like, there's so many more things I could talk about that I've gleaned since we last spoke. Because that's the whole point. If we're on a journey, that you continue to evolve completely and change and feel differently about things I may have said 18 months, 2 years ago. I might sit there and say, I don't feel that way anymore. Yeah,
precisely. I mean, you've had me in your magazine, so it must be a quality thing.
Absolutely. And it's not, this is the thing, when you fall down, you're not trying to be kingpin over it. No. It's like, no, I want people in there that are like me, that want what I'm wanting, that want the truth, and want to speak their truth and know that whatever they've got to say is received with respect, knowing that this is your truth. I'm not here to unpick all that and find fault with it. Some will say, well, that's not really a very, it's a one-sided story. I'm not here to get into politics. I'm not about to take on a politician's role.
No.
They want to put you in them camps, and find out what you believe in and what you follow. I think we need to start getting more back to basics with finding out who you are.
Yes.
For the self-discovery piece. And that's what this woman talks about in this book. Can't think of the title now. But she speaks about the self-discovery journey that she's been on. So I think I'm excited because I think as I go further through it, there'll be a lot of parallels with what she talks about in that. And I wanted a space where people could come and it not be wishy-washy spirituality where people are like, woo, and they call it woo, which I really despise, that terminology, even though I do use it. But I use it because people understand the lingo.
Absolutely.
And then they're like, okay, I get what you're talking about. Oh, you're on about that, are you? Okay, woo. And it's like, right, let me just dumb myself down so I can meet you where you are and then build you back up. But this is what I want people to start talking about more. I want them to start speaking about where they've got it wrong in life and they are struggling to be vulnerable. And, in the last meeting, the woman that was there spoke about the fact that nobody had ever met her in the flesh before. I'd met her once, but not spoke to her. And she talked about, her husband and she can't be with him. And she told us why and all the stuff that she was going through with him. I love that. I love that someone that's never been in our space before, my space, but in a room full of 18 strangers, feels safe enough to sit there and say, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I feel really guilty about it because my family is saying this, this and this and people are telling me, am I mad? You've got this much money, you've got such a great lifestyle. Why would you want to give? A lot of people are going through that. They need to find a place where they're able to come and be who the hell they actually are. Because they're scared of what this new person of them, their new version of them is coming out. It's like, and I said this to them and I said that, and I'd never have said that, 6 months ago. And they're scared of this person that's coming out of them and listening to people saying, you're not the same. Something's got into you, you've changed. And taking that as a negative and because they haven't got anywhere else to go where somebody's embracing it for them. And that's the whole point of the Empowered Connection meetings that I have every 2 months. And I made them 3 hours intentionally because it's more than networking. We're not exchanging business cards, we're exchanging core values.
Absolutely.
Because nobody knows what their core values are either. And I would invite everybody who listens to this and is still listening to this point to go and find out what their core values are, the 5 main core values. But if I put you on the spot now, Debs, you couldn't tell me, could you?
I would say honesty, integrity, truth, joy. And I'm stuck between health and wealth because to me,
health is wealth.
Wealth
right?
is, health is part of wealth. Wealth is not just money.
Honesty and integrity, 2 of mine. Loyalty, honesty, integrity, authenticity, transparency, freedom. A couple of them will be absolutely non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Which ones are yours?
Joy.
So if you're not having joy and the thing...
And I'm not able to spread joy.
Then you're not doing it. And if people like mine are integrity and loyalty. Yeah. So you'll only get to do it once. The inner circle becomes the outer circle. Yeah. And that's it. Because that's my boundaries for my safety and everybody knows where they are. Yeah. And, integrity, if you say you're going to do what you said you were going to do the thing. Yeah. Because that means I can't trust you, which is another very, loose core value of mine as well. Yeah. And you realise the more you check in with your core values, you can have a conversation with somebody, an awkward one, and say, well, why don't you want to do it? You know how we struggle to say no, people pleasing, everyone says yes to things. Actually, I can't do that. Why is that? It's not going to work for me. Why not? You were all right before. Because actually it massively compromises my core value of integrity. And it's just not going to work for me. They won't know what you're on about because they've never done the core values exercise for themselves. And B, it's a great comeback because normally it's what we're all used to. I don't want to do it. Why not? I just don't want to. Yeah, but that's not fair. And you get caught in this bloody tennis match. It stops the tennis match. Yeah. And people straight away are like, oh, okay. All right. A bit confused what you just said. That's okay. I need you to understand what I've just said. Yeah. I'm saying it for my benefit and my safety, myself to feel good.
Because people don't understand that no is a complete sentence. And having their core values conversation afterwards allows there to be a conversation for those that don't understand. No is a complete sentence, but you're still ending it. Yeah.
And I think it's the energy behind how you deliver that as well. Hugely. It's always the energy behind the statement. Yeah. So if I'm like saying to somebody, no, I won't be doing that. You can see my face, my energy. It's like, bitch has got something going on under there. That's being fueled by a bit of an emotion. What is the emotion? Irritation, frustration, anger. What is that? But if it's just like, oh, no, actually, I'm okay. I'm not going to go forward with that. That's a different energy, right?
Yeah,
and it's the
totally.
person that finds that energy wrong and tries to bring you out of that. It's like, whoa, you're actually quite committed with that statement. I'm a bit scared because you don't usually do that. So I don't know how to be with you now, which means I've got to make you wrong. So I'm going to say something that really upsets you because that'll give me control back and I'll feel safe because I now know how to be with you, right? And it just unravels itself. Once you start that, the next part becomes so much easier to navigate and control for yourself in these situations. So that's why I have the Empowered Connection meetings every 2 months so people can come for 3 hours. Because if it's 2 hours, you can bet your bottom dollar, as you've done, probably I have, you're going to plan a meeting straight after.
Yeah.
You got to be somewhere.
Well, for me, I've had to drive up to Barnsley to work.
Yeah. And this is it. It's like making sure that you have really good quality time in that time because we're going to have a speaker. Great. We're not going to exchange business cards because I might not want your card, but I'll have a conversation with you because I like what you said about that. Yeah. Oh, your core values, integrity. Yeah. Tell me when that's been something that's compromised. When did you realize it was integrity? It can allow you to have really interesting conversations because I can't stand that thrust of a business card. I've been in networking spaces where 4 or 5 of you stood there. Somebody just joined us, the circle, been stood there tapping the card. They've got a pack of cards in there and they're tapping the card, waiting for the chance to speak because somebody's having a conversation. And then when there's a gap, it's like, hi, everybody, my name's Philip and I'm a photographer, gave everybody their cards. And I said, I won't be taking your card. I said, with all honesty, it'll probably end up in the bin. If you're going to be that rude and not educate yourself on the etiquette of conversation, the art.
Read the room.
Read the room, man. I'm not going to be the person that allows this and enables your behavior because you need to come across that person that says, stop what you're doing. Check yourself.
Yeah.
Check what you're doing because it ain't working and it ain't right for everybody. And he might think, oh, well, 20 people, 18 took a card, 2 didn't. Oh, well, I still did okay. Then that's fine. Me and you won't be doing business. And that's okay. He has to exist in order for me to say to people, this is the thing that I don't want to do. This is what I do want to do. So I love them because they've got to be there for me to be able to say, I'm not a fan of how this works. So I created this over here. That can stay for those people that love that. I'm not here to take it away. There's plenty of space and room for everyone to operate and function. Because that's what abundance is all about. Yeah. So that's why the meetings came about. The membership, I've said a bit like this, you know, Debs. I've said a bit like this about it, I'm not going to lie.
I was going to ask you what came first, the magazine or the membership?
The magazine. And I say magazine because it was only ever going to be something that I printed for my events. And they were only exclusively available at my events. And I would just put everybody in who was going to be part of the event in that. And then it was a thing. And just available online. And then when I spoke to somebody in March last year, 6 months after the first one came out for that event, she said, I'll sponsor you for your first one if you want to get it printed and sent out. And because I said to her, I'd like it to go out to high-end hotels, 5-star hotels and spas and whatnot, because that's the area I'm focusing on, the luxury market. All right, so what's stopping you? I said, money. I've got to get some money together to get the print run, distribution costs, designer to design the thing. I'll give you the money. Did I burst out crying?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Just a little bit.
Somebody said yes to me. Really? Sarah did it? And I thought straight away I was like, all the list of things that I'm going to now do for you. She's like, stop, Buckso. You don't need to do that. No, that's fine. I want to help you. I couldn't believe that somebody wanted to help me because I didn't think I deserved it. Because I'd made my bed and so I was lying in it. Because that's what I wanted to do. And when we think that we make choices based on what we fundamentally from a base level want to do, but this is my passion project, I've got to do this. It's okay. I know it's not everybody else's dream, but I have to do this. So you automatically think, well, then you better get ready to do it on your own because nobody's going to feel about it the way you do. But that's the case with everything and anything. Nobody's ever going to feel as passionately about what you chose to do with your purpose than you. They're not supposed to because it's your purpose and your passion, right?
Yeah.
But then that was a door opening for me to become more vulnerable. And like, you know what? The right people will help you. It doesn't have to be everybody. No. You might wish that group of people over there, the popular girls, the mean girls, you kind of wish that they'd see you and like help you out, but then you're not prepared to do the arse licking and stuff, because I won't
Absolutely.
be doing that. I won't be licking your arse, and I won't be chatting shit about what it is that you're doing when I don't believe in what you're doing, just to give myself a leg up. It's just not going to happen.
No.
And I think that's important, because people who get involved with us need to know that if you want that for the reciprocity element of it and the collaboration, it's not going to happen. I need to believe in what you're doing. I need to see your journey and story, not because I'm judge and jury, but because it has to fuel my jets to want to be a part of your space and speak about, because people feel what you're saying about someone. They feel what you're saying about them. Not the fact that you said, like with the meetings, Kate, she does my fascia release. I extol the virtues of her services every time, because I cannot believe how amazing she is at what she does. And I just love that. And I would love somebody to be like that with me, about me. Do you know what I mean? Because it does give other people permission to do that. Yeah. And one of the ladies did some business and connection with another lady there. And she asked me for a number. And I was thinking, I wonder how many other people have done business from the events I put on. I learnt the other month that somebody from my last Be More You event, £4,000 was made from 2 clients that went into their space. But they don't tell you.
Yeah.
And it's good for people to say, do you know what, Buckso, I was at your event and I covered my money and I got 4 regular clients, or I did this and I did that and I got this and got that. It's just nice to have that info, not because I'm like having a vanity metric or a measuring stick or yardstick. It's just like, oh God, it works. Oh God, it works. Yes. Because, you hope that it's working, and you hope that the intention you had behind the event, the magazine, the story that you told the person about why they should be involved with you has some legs afterwards, and it's like, so that's why, because people say, why spirituality should be available. Of course they did. Spirituality should be available to everybody. Why have you just gone for the luxury market? And I was like, it's available online to everyone.
Yeah.
But for me, from the perspective of the magazine making money for itself and giving me something back for the time I spend on it, it's got to go into that space and place. Because, listen, rich folk need to read about spirituality, but they ain't scrolling on the internet.
No.
They ain't Googling shit. They go by word of mouth. I've done the research. They go by word of mouth, and they go by trust element and positioning. They will always ask you, who do you recommend for things? Because they don't have the time. They trust you because you're in a space, you positioned yourself as someone that takes what they do seriously, discerningly. It's not just a thing like anybody throwing money at you. Yeah, put me in that magazine, can I have your front cover? It's like, that's not how I operate. No. And so that's why I've aimed it at that, because far too often in the spiritual community, I'm going to say something that's going to take me out on the limb here. It's full of toxicity. It's full of toxicity. And again, I'm not here to shoot them down. I've had my realizations. So that's why I've created, with my other event, Mind, Body, Wisdom Wellbeing Expo, which is in the one that you're coming to in March and September. I'm going to have them twice a year. People are like, oh, you're trying to compete with the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival. No, that's been going 50 years.
Yeah.
It's time for something new.
Yeah, this is different.
It's new. It's because I feel Mind, Body, Spirit is great. Carry on. Because there's people that are still new to the world. Let them start somewhere. Mine's for the person that's been at it like me 30 years and is now realising that the spirit seeks the wisdom. The spirit seeks the wisdom. Nobody knows that because we don't know what we don't know. I now know that my spirit and soul is seeking the wisdom. And the old stuff, the ancestral stuff, the things that were taught to us 6-7 generations ago, everybody wants that. Nothing is new. The cycle is renewing.
You're singing my song.
Yes, it's regeneration. It's just recycling of stuff. And I've massively, my soul wants to be fed by stories of history. I'm massively gone into history. I love watching things from 200 years ago, period dramas. Mate, 6 months ago, Downton Abbey wasn't even a thing. I didn't even put it in my mouth, that word. Now, I've started to watch it. I've watched, Outlander from 10 years ago when it first came out. I only just discovered it. I've got this newfound love for Scotland. Why? Because maybe my soul is recognising something from that time and space. I have such an affinity for Scotland. I really can't explain it. It's like it's cracked something open in me. And I'm not here to make it wrong or anything. It's just like, I'm here to investigate everything. So for me, the spiritual community has a lot of ascended souls in it, like myself. A lot of people that have pierced the veil of illusion that's been shrouding us for these decades, these years. I'm 53 now. It's a shame that it's only when the white hair comes that the wisdom follows, because it is youth is wasted on the young, because actually my kids are 23. I've got 23-year-old twins. They have such information and capability, but they haven't got the strength and the inner resolve, the resilience that comes from lived experience to carry the weight of this knowledge. So that's why it's important that I do what I do, because it is for the next generation.
Absolutely.
And for those people that in my sphere of existence that hear the sound of the bell that I'm ringing from this events that I put on and the things that I say, it's not for everyone. It is for those people that feel something when they hear me say, the spirit, the soul seeks the wisdom. You want to go to an ascended space, a place that operates in a higher vibration and a higher frequency that not many people are in. Would you like to operate from there instead and serve those people that are also up there, rather than in the maelstrom of madness that's still going on and carries on to be, because it's got to, you know, the whole planet going into an ascended space, I'm going really deep now, is not going to be what happens for this earth, because we'll always live in fear. And that's what the powers that be will always perpetuate. And it's our job and our responsibility to wake the hell up, smell the coffee, have the conversation, do the scary thing, and step out of the comfort zone. Because resilience is never built from doing the things over and over again, the same thing over and over again. It comes from knowing that you took courage to step out and do something scary, and that gives you the confidence. I spoke in front of 5,000 people. Oh my God, I am Billy Big Bollocks now, you know. You can feel that surge of confidence coming from the activity. And we do it with kids. When we teach them to jump off something, it's like, I can't. And they do it and they're back at it again 10, 20 times, right? And that's all it is. Yeah. People think there's a way to be like more you, be more confident. You don't be confident. The thing that you do creates the confidence. Courage creates confidence.
Something you hold with inside you.
But we have to find out who we are to know that that's what we need to do. It's a real web of like, well, if I do this, then it'll lead on to doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't got time for that book, so that's fine. It's not your time then.
Yeah.
We're not here to make anyone wrong. So that's why it's a bit of an ecosystem now, the House of Wisdom. It's events where people can come in at grassroots, sort of like, you know, don't really know your book, so, but I like what you just said there. So I'm going to come to your meeting every 2 months and see what's in it, what's it about for me. And then, of course, you've got the more deeper dive for the full day, Be More You, which is 6th of June. That's going to be where we investigate further through crowd, immersive participation, connection. People can do whatever they want to do in that space and ask whatever they want to ask of the people on the panel, of me and the headline speaker, which, fingers crossed, it should be Janie Lee Grace. And then you have the expo twice a year. That's going to be for those exhibitors that have been in the circuit for 30 years and tired of the toxicity in those environments, because they do exist. Yeah. It does. And, you know, it's interesting. I won't go into that.
And then the membership.
And the membership. The membership's just 47 quid a month, and you come and meet online twice a month, and then every other month you get to come to the Empowered Connection for free. Otherwise, that's just 30 quid. You know, people have said it was too cheap. It's too cheap. It's, you know, I don't care. I don't care if I think this is cheap. Just because you've decided that $3,000 means it's of value. I've got about 50 courses. I paid a fair few grand combined, and I've looked at them once, you know, because of who I was and where I was. Wherever you are in your journey, you'll kid yourself into thinking something's of value because of where you're operating from, right? 30 quid is gold, man. And if somebody can't value that time that they spend for those 3 hours and see the value that they get, then that's not on me to convince them. It doesn't have to be 197 quid a month for that thing. No. There's another space for that if they want to have a bit more intimacy and more proximity, because it has to be about the proximity piece then.
Yeah, of course.
From being in that space, you know. But yeah, so that's where we're at now, Debs. That's where we are now operating from. A couple of years older than I saw you last time, because that's guaranteed. We'll always be getting older, won't we? And I don't know about you, but my mortality is massively staring me in the face. Massively staring me in the face. I did a post the other day on social media where I spoke about, because I've been in the acting industry, I'm still doing it. For those that do ask, yes, I am still doing it. 17 years I started, 17 years ago, I'll be 18 in August this year. And I look back to those last 17 years, I'm like, my kids were 5 then, they're 23 now. Still married to the same man. I've lost my dad in the meantime. And I really didn't know what the hell life was about until that happened. That's what I realised. I was 17 years ago, I was 37. That's flown.
Yeah.
Just like that. In 17 years' time, I'm going to be 70. When I say that number out loud, it's like, brrr.
That's a bit of a smacker, isn't it?
70? When you look at what 70 is now and you're thinking, where's the 70-year-old that I want to be like?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, you got to become that 70-year-old that you've been looking for again. I've realised that there isn't going, in this new space I operate from, there isn't anybody I can look to like, right, I'm here now. What do we do at this level then? It's like, no, man, you're showing the way. You're going to be the one that tells people what they need to do now. And it's like, damn, ooh, that's big. So how am I now with this weight of responsibility for myself that I've imposed? What am I going to do in these next 17 years? I'm going to be 70. Because automatically you assume doddery, because that's all I've ever known 70 to be. I haven't seen a 70-year-old yet that isn't wedged like a millionaire. You know, I mean, if you're a millionaire and you're 70, you better look good. You ain't got no excuse. You know what I mean? You got all that money in that. You better look good and feel good. But Joe Blogs, like us, the 70-year-olds who are out there now, the only women that are out there now at 70 are your, 80, you've got your Goldie Horns and but they're all like in the acting world. Where's the Joe Blogs person, the man in the street that you can aspire to be like, who's gone from being employed to being self-employed, managing to do the two and not hit the six figures or not hitting millionaire status, but that's okay, because that's okay as well. You don't have to hit six figures. No. You don't have to be a millionaire.
No.
You don't have to be sipping mojitos in the Caribbean. I'm so done with that, Debs. I am so done. If anybody's talking about where they are and they just turn, I've been sat on my sun lounger, scroll, move, cross, delete, and not following anymore. The amount of people's folks I'm not following now that I was like up their arses this last 5 years, saying like, tell me the next thing I need to do, show me the next thing I need to do. And I'm watching them morph into their new version, which again is their story and their journey. And I'm like, shit, I thought you were kingpin and actually you ain't the one. But they're not wrong. I've moved on.
Absolutely,
I'm supposed to. So people have left my membership for their own reasons. And at first it was like, oh my God, why have they left? Am I not giving enough value? This is what I was doing.
Go again.
I was back to that value piece. So this is where I really sat up and recognised, I don't want you to be in this space if you don't want to be here, because you'll be slagging me off left, right and centre. I don't need you to do that.
Absolutely.
Somebody asked for a refund for the exhibitor stand. And I said to her, babes, if you when you booked it a week ago and you come back to me a week later and said, can I have a refund? I've got a few financial difficulties. How's 90 quid making a dent in your financial difficulties? You knew a week ago, financial difficulties amounting to 90 quid don't happen in a week. You know when you've got financial. And this sort of bullshit that happens within the spiritual community, ain't no pockets in the shroud mentality. I'm like, bitch, love don't pay the bills either. Do you know what I mean? And we have to make sure the spiritual community get out of that. They're not being taken seriously for those reasons.
Yeah.
Because they think that, if you're an energy worker and an energy healer, which is what I do, that should be, it should be given freely. I had to pay for a course. That wasn't given freely.
No.
My time, I'm never getting that back. You need to have some skin in the game, because where do you value what I'm doing then? If you're on a journey and you say you want to be on a journey, and I say to you, great, it's going to cost you $1,000 to be with me for the day because I won't see you every week for an hour. I'm not here for that gig. There's plenty of people out there that do that. I'm going to change your life after you've had a day with me. So it's going to cost you $997 to be with me with follow-on support for a month. If you feel the ick and the all of that, that's good, and still continue to go forward, because that's even part of the journey of breaking your mindset and your thought process around it. And I'm speaking this way because I've done it. I felt that way, had the ick, had the going like that, and still done it.
Yeah.
Some of them I regretted because I acted from a place of ego. Not what I really felt in the moment. But others were great. And lessons learned that's brought me closer to the thing. And even that is part of your progress. So that, people have been in the membership for like 8 months, 10 months. I mean, you've been in from day one, right? And the price has gone down in that time.
It has.
Because I've changed what I deliver. I've made it more streamlined.
I don't think that you would have done what you do within the membership a few years ago.
No way. No way.
Not in a million years. Good, I'm glad I'm right.
Yeah, I couldn't have done it. I wasn't the vessel. I wasn't in the right vessel to do the things that I'm doing now and able to do. Like when I started vocalizing at the meeting, But I didn't know I was going to do that.
Yeah.
A year ago, I'd have been like, you ain't doing that. They're going to think you've lost up a lot, But I just felt, and that's where I know I've arrived, because I don't think anymore about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I just feel whatever I want to do in that moment and just go where the body wants to take me. Mm-hmm. And that is what I want for everybody. I just want everybody to feel that.
See, that for me is joy.
Oh.
You may call it freedom. You may use a different word.
Yeah.
For me, that is joy. That is the joy and peace of being so you that you can just...
I can't, and you know what? I'm gutted. And people will say very quick, but I just want to have this moment to say, I'm just so sad that I found out at 53. Why couldn't I have this at 33? Do you know what I mean? 20 years ago, why couldn't I do something? And I'd have so much longer to live this way.
Yeah.
People will say, oh, Buckso, you still got 30 years in you. And it's like, yeah, but I'll be 83, man. I might not want to do that thing then.
Somebody I've met recently, and I've met him in person, is 85 years of age. He does wear a wig, and he needs to change that.
Yeah, that's got to go, mate. It was syrup fit like proper.
But he was a farmer in New Zealand for 30, 40 years and watched his family members all pop off with cancer young. And he decided that that wasn't going to be what was going to happen to him.
Keyword, decided.
Yeah. He now is probably a billionaire, I would imagine. Owns a company.
Not through farming, though.
No.
So he did that for 30, 40 years?
Yep.
And didn't become a billionaire doing that?
No. He
Bloody
then decided, because of the trauma and the cancer and the loss, that wasn't going to happen to him. And I need to find out why, because I guess I'm genetically predisposed to it, because all of my family, are. So I need to find something. So he went away and did a shed load of research, found this product that I endorse. And now, when I met him, I was in Nottingham back end of last year. He was on a world tour. He's 85. He's on a world tour in different countries. He'll do half a dozen dates in the UK. He did. I forget exactly where he went, but he was all over the UK. And then he went to Ireland, and then he went to Europe, and then he was in, and then. I was knackered just reading about it.
Do you know what I mean?
And he's doing his own presentations. He's not just turning up at these meetings and sitting there in a corner and letting everybody else do it. He's standing up and doing 90-minute presentations all about his products. And I'm like, you are an inspiration, mate.
This is it. But where are the women doing that? I want to see the women.
It's you and me.
That's what I mean. It's
us.
like Bob Proctor. He was 88, I think, when he died, right? And he was still at it.
Yeah.
When you start doing things, and I suppose... part of me is excited about what's to come, because it's like, what if I end up doing all of that and traveling the world for 10 years in my 60s? It's still not a bad thing. I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
You just wish that you were younger, because you've got the energy that's like from not taking supplements and things to keep you going. But, it's just that now the box has been opened. Pandora's box has opened. It shouldn't be feared. People fear Pandora's box so much.
I want to get in there.
Honestly, it's wide open. I'm just like, come on. Is there anything else? Is there another level to this? Because I want to see all of it now. There's nothing that phases me. Stuff that still scares me.
Yeah.
And my own, sometimes judgment will slip in there. Not as much as it used to. It used to lead the way before. But now it's just like, oh my gosh, next week isn't guaranteed to anybody.
No.
Live and let live. Be and do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
And just go and do the thing, knowing that it could be the wrong thing. Because as much as I've said, I've made some, stupid mistakes in purchases and things over the last 6 years.
Haven't we all?
I'm still okay. I just, wish I'd not done that one or that one because of
Same.
where I am today. But then I wouldn't be able to talk about that and know that that's why, I created the Speaker in the House directory. So that's an online membership where people can be on the directory. I'm not an agent. It's where I know as an event host, oh my gosh, I've been let down. Where can I go quickly? Because you put a Facebook post out and you've got 50 people saying yes, 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 and about 2 of them are relevant.
Yeah.
You got to go through all of that, sift through that, go through the admin of it all. Who's got time for that? So for me, it's like, right, those people that are saying they want to get out there speaking more, they're not after 5, 10K for keynote. It's not for them. This is those people like, you know what? I'm ready. Because that was the gap. I was like, what about those people that are just wanting to get out there more and happy with a couple of grand, or just, they don't have to be massively keynote, but they're just happy. That's the top line, but they're after, but happy to speak around the country for free. But people need to know that I exist. And that's what that was. So that wouldn't have happened had I not made the purchases I'd made.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I say that, but there's always the caveat is that it has brought me to where I am today with that in the directory and stuff. It's about creating platforms that people can access.
I see you doing even more in the future, things evolving and moving. And
Well, I think, you know the lady in question. I am meeting with them next week because I do still envisage myself as the Oprah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I can
And
see
I have my own chat show where we have deep conversations, no holes barred, nothing's off limits. And that's what I say to people in the magazine. If I say, I want to talk about this, I can't really talk about that yet, Buckso. I say, come back when you can.
Yeah.
We're not leaving bits out. Not leaving anything out.
No.
And those conversations as well, it's not about leaving anything out.
Warts and all.
Warts and all.
Bring it on.
So that will be, I don't know what it's called actually. I don't know what it's called yet,
It'll
but
come to you.
watch this space. The talk show is coming.
Yay. That is exciting. That'll be a corker.
Well, I'm just open. And you know what the beauty of it is? And I think this is what people, if I say anything to anyone, take it away, one takeaway for sure. Don't limit yourself by deciding that you're going to do this, this, and this. So right now I'm saying it's a talk show. We get deep down and dirty with the conversations, no holes barred. And it's got to be about this. That's it. That's it. We go deep down and dirty and we talk and we speak about the things, not political or religious. I'm not going to do any of that or any cause that's out there. You know, I'm not here about that. I want to just have a deep, I don't care what your beliefs are. I'm not bothered about that. Let's just talk about what is going on, why it's happening, call yourself out, do it openly, show your vulnerability.
Yes.
Have a cry about it if you want to, and just allow. And that's what it is. I think people should massively know when you make a decision, I'm going to be more whatever this year. Like for me, it's fun. It's about having more fun. I'm not going to say, what does that look like? Going to Alton Towers, doing this, jumping in that. No, I'm just here to have more fun, whatever that is.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Because how do I know what fun is?
And that's
really?
part of the journey.
Because I've been told what it was. We were growing up to think that it's going to theme parks and stuff and jumping off, whatever. But actually, I'm open to whatever fun looks like. This is fun.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people will be like, what, you travelled up to Doncaster and you did this and you did that. And it's like, oh, and you do. Then it's not for you.
Exactly.
You're not ready. You're happy with the 9-to-5 matrix.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's exciting.
It is exciting.
I'm looking forward to it.
And I want to take loads of people with me. Do you know what I mean? I want to take loads of people with us. And until I've become the philanthropic millionaire that I aim to be, you know, it's like, you've got to just help a sister out, you know what I mean? And finance it with me along the way. You know, it's not about, and people will say, well, that's a lack mentality, Buckso. It's not about making the money. If I make a bit of something, it's great, but I can't keep doing that and not making anything. Like with the magazine, I've done it now since November 24 and with no, you know, I'm not being paid for it. So that's got to change.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'm going to get disillusioned by it and I'm going to start getting annoyed. I mean, I could have burnt it to the ground a couple of weeks ago, you know, in the aftermath of Christmas, like, what is this I'm doing? You know, and I'm going to the Man Body Spirit Festival again in November. We're having the House of Wisdom tent again. That was last year. We'll have it again. They wanted us to do Olympia in May. But I was like, no. The old me would have been, oh, Olympia too. That's 4 days. Oh, yeah, let's go and do that. Billy Big Bollocks, no.
No.
I haven't been as a visitor yet. I will go as a visitor this year. I will feel into it.
Very sensible.
November, I want to make that like, mwah, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Where people are just like, yeah, House of Wisdom. I'm here to see the House of Wisdom. I'm here to go to the House of Wisdom tent because they have amazing speakers in there because they talk about stuff in there. Because I wanted to call it the tent of truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The tent of truth. It's like where you got given that injection where you couldn't help but tell the truth.
Yep.
It's like you walk through the doors or the flap of the tent and you can't help but speak the truth because that's what we advocate for. You know, the truth of what
They
it
can have
is.
an injection in there. I couldn't legally give you the ones that make you tell the truth, even though I do have access to it. But no, I can't do that.
What's that called, by the way?
Thiopentone.
Let me just write that down. But yeah, but it's there, isn't it? It's there. It's come willingly.
Yeah.
Come with your own volition. Feel the fear. Do it anyway. Just come and do the thing. Make the changes for your life. And, you know, oh God, there's so many things I could say, but I don't want to go off on a tangent. But that really, if I was to summarize what it is that's come to be since we spoke nearly 2 years ago now, is change is inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Resistance is futile.
Yes.
That is the major reason for your issues that you're experiencing. The resistance that you feel towards it isn't being investigated.
Just surrender.
Because that's it. Because you'll know it's only fear-based. Fear comes from lack of knowledge, uncertainty, no clarity. Be sure that the people that you're going to ask about that thing also embody that. You know, really embody it. Not from social media, and what they think they're putting on. Really get to find out for yourself if they are embodying everything that you seek from them.
Yeah.
You know, somebody that says they're a joiner, I'm not going to talk to them about my plumbing issues or my plumbers. You know, the plumber said this, is that right? Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Why would you go to somebody to ask about somebody else if this person hasn't got the equipment that you are asking of that other person anyway? You know? And this is what we need to get a bit more discerning about what we're doing.
Yeah.
If you feel that you're going to be judged about something, make the choice and decision anyway.
Yeah.
Because those who really are going to stay with you, they'll fall away. And you'll know it's easy that you've got the right people in your life, you know?
Totally.
And like I say, I had to have that conversation with a friend recently. And it was interesting because we know each other 8 years, not very long. We've known each other only 8 years through networking, but we had the commonality of being from Stoke. And for months and months and months, I've been getting wound up by it all because I was like, you don't value me. You know, the loyalty here has been really questioned. And I've got to tell you, I'm not that person that's just going to cut you off and tell you that the ship sailed 8 months ago. But you didn't give me the chance to explain myself. I'm never going to have that conversation with somebody. So I had the conversation with her to say, I don't think you're valuing me and where I'm coming from, what I'm doing. She went on the defensive straight away, understandably, because she's sitting in trauma.
Yeah.
And I said, look, this isn't about making you wrong. I'm just telling you, this is what's happening. This ship is setting sail and I'll be on the horizon soon. So you can still grab a hold of the chain if you want to and anchor us back in. But just to let you know, this is what's happening with us right now from my perspective. Because she's, going through divorce and stuff and I appreciate her heads up her arse at the minute. So you have to allow that with people.
Yeah.
Whereas other people have just gone. And I'm like, oh, are we done? They've emotionally just pulled the drawbridge up and had a conversation with me, told me what was wrong with the friendship, and they've gone. I'm like, but I didn't have a chance to make it right. This is what we've got. Allow people to make it right.
Yeah.
Speak when it's an issue.
Yeah.
Not when you've been putting up with it for donkeys that you've got over it, built the bridge and got over it. And they're on the other side and you're like, I'm done with you. But why? See you, I'm gone.
Yeah.
That hurts. So don't do it to people. Just be straight with them.
So lots of things, lots of irons in the fire, but all very authentic to you, all very, I don't want to use the word theme, but that's the one that's popping into my mind.
It's the ecosystem that I've created because I realised that I wasn't anchored in what it was that I was trying to do because I had to find out for myself. And when people go for clarity sessions and whatnot, you're never going to get clarity sessions until you know who you are.
Yeah.
Find out who you are first. Do your self-discovery. That's what I help people with. We get them to that place of knowing who they are and what they do and don't like. Starts with the core values. So find out who you are because then you can have those conversations going forward. The ecosystem is all about you feeling able to become more of who you are through the empowerment pieces of the bi-monthly meetings, which I'm taking around the UK. So I'm going to set another one up in Shoreditch. I've been invited to do that. Reading may be on the cards as well. And it's about having the right people in the right spaces just to co-host. I'm going to pop along and do the empowered connection piece and they get to carry on with their network because they live up that area. I'm happy to travel the country. So,
I've got a lovely venue in Sheffield.
And this is what we want. This is what we want, okay? And it's about other people feeling empowered like Helen did. She's set one up at her place, but taking the empowered connection concept where we lead with we don't lead with cards, we lead with core values. It's about taking that concept nationwide or worldwide, So, people say you're going to franchise it. No, because I'm always going to be there. So I know there's only one of me, so I'll only be able to do maybe 8 areas.
Yeah. Don't
And
spread
that's
yourself
it.
too thin.
Keep it exclusive that way so people can come and travel there 90 minutes from wherever they're coming to. So they've got the events, the in-person events, they've got the expos for those exhibitors, the business owners that want to get more connected to their spirituality, but actually really own the business element of it, because we are crap at business as spiritual entrepreneurs. I'm great for other people. I'm just really shit at my own. and then, of course, you've got the membership, which keeps you connected.
Yeah.
People are desperate for connection. And that's what it's all about with the House of Wisdom. Connection to the self.
Beautiful. Thank you for coming back to visit again.
Thank you for asking me, Debs. Yeah, I think it could be a yearly thing.
I think
so.
There will be more
Should have your
to talk
faves.
about in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Open to any questions as well. Anybody want to get in touch with me about anything I've discussed, please do get in touch.
Wonderful.
And as a listener of this podcast, they have to quote House 10. They will get a discount of any editorials in the magazine because they quoted your podcast.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What a perfect synergy.
I feel so.
Yeah. Thank you, my darling.
Thanks, Debs.